I made a post about how women don't benefit from marriage and the incels went crazy. In this video, we're going to go through all the reasons. But let's start here. The consensus from most men in the comments were that women do benefit from marriage through divorce. So they seem to be in agreement that the best part of marriage for women is leaving. If that were true, which it's not, I think that would make my point. Let's go through finances, child custody, and health. Is marriage worth it for women? The benefits mostly go to men. Currently, over 50% of households have a dual income. I read this as women are taking half of their own stuff. In those households, despite a dual income, women are still doing the lion's share of domestic labor and emotional labor. In a divorce, women's income drops on average by 20%. Divorced men see an average of 30% increase in their income. Post-divorce, 20% of women find themselves in poverty compared to 11% of men. Let's talk alimony. Alimony has been gender neutral since 1979. It's the breadwinner who pays. In the 1960s, 25% of men were paying alimony post-divorce. Today, that number is 10%. And I know the math is right here, but I'm going to say it anyway. 90% of marriages end with no alimony whatsoever. 90 to 95% of the time that alimony is paid, it was settled out of court, meaning a judge didn't weigh in and didn't order it. In the cases where a judge orders it, there's a large discrepancy between the spouse's income and assets. Short marriages are less likely to get any alimony. Judges are looking at if one spouse sacrificed their career or potential earnings. And so if they didn't, alimony wouldn't be awarded. Now let's talk child custody. Studies show that when fathers ask for custody, they get it. Conversely, as fathers tend not to ask for custody, they don't get it. Most custody cases are settled out of court. For absolute clarity, most fathers are giving custody to the mothers, not losing custody. Do you see the difference? Now we're going to talk about health, and that will lead me into my last point. Why do women even want to get married if it doesn't benefit them? You know when married women nag their partners? You really going to have that third beer? Babe, I think you need to go get that mole looked at with the doctor. Men seem to hate that. And yet it is the direct reason why married men live longer lives and healthier lives than unmarried men. I've read that men resist marriage because they know that it requires a substantial behavior change on their part. They associate marriage with increased responsibilities and potential financial loss. And yet, those things aren't true. Our culture sets expectations high for women and low for men. Getting married has historically brought a large change in how men see themselves and how they behave. If marriage has been a particularly strong signal of change in men's committed behavior, it would explain the stereotype of women pushing for marriage and men resisting. Tell me what you think.
I want to know from women over 35 if cohabitating with men is really worth it.
It's been said before, but I'll say it again. Marriage isn't really good for women. Women don't benefit from being married to men. The comment section on this video is full of women who say this, happily married here, and I say this without weirdness, but if he dies first, and he knows this, LOL, I will not do it again. So many of the comments came from married women, women who claim to be happily married, who say they would never choose to live with a man again. And I think this speaks volumes about the dynamics that exist in our culture overall, right? When men get married, they expect their wife to take care of them, to cook for them, to clean for them, to take care of their children, to have children for them, and they go off and work. But in today's world, these women are also working. And so not only are they working full-time, but they are also expected to care for the home and the children and do exponentially more work in the home than their partner. And oftentimes these men have been raised without the information or expectation that they'll take care of the home themselves or take care of the kids. And so even when they try to help, they need a list, they need her to tell him what to do, and it's exhausting for women. It's been shown that marriage isn't actually good for women. Women who are single do better than men. Also, having children isn't really good for women, right? We have the wage gap, the motherhood penalty, and the fact that having children can put women at a higher risk of financial troubles in the future, right? Marrying men, living with men, and having children doesn't quote unquote benefit women in the same way it does men, which is why so many women say they would never do it again. And that's also why so In our society, it almost feels like women can't win, which is why so many women are opting out of marriage altogether. Because so often women will say things like, "Hey, I just wish my partner participated more. I wish he cooked the dinner. I wish he would fold his own laundry. I just wish he was better with the kids." And people will tell her that she should have picked better. You should have picked a better partner. This is on you. It's your fault. You should have known better. And then when women do pick better, when they have an amazing partner like I do, who cooks dinner every single night, who folds his own laundry, who takes care of his own kids, people will say, "Oh my God, I feel bad for your husband. Oh, it must be a nightmare being married to you. Oh, I can't wait for the divorce. It's coming." It's so interesting because women do marry equal partners, right? I have an equal partner. It sounds like this woman has an equal partner. We have partners who participate, right? They take care of the house with us. They take care of the children with us. They share maybe the finances equally. We are true equal partners in our home, and we both show up to participate in the home. And when we do that, people don't like it, right? People don't want to see men participating because it means they've taken on more work. And if there's men out there who are raising the bar, who are doing the work of cooking the dinner and doing the laundry and taking care of the kids, they are active participants in their home. By raising that bar, now other men are held accountable to that bar, and they don't like that. There's a lot of men who don't want to have to do those things. And so they'll tell women that it's our fault. It's our fault for being too demanding. We're awful wives if we expect our partners to be equal partners. And it's our fault if our partners aren't good. It's all our fault. So ultimately, we can't win. And here's the thing, there are good guys out there, but there's a lot of people who will say things like this, and that is so frustrating, and it makes it so difficult to navigate these conversations.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking. Kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel. So in today's video, we'll be talking about a very important topic that might be a bit controversial but definitely worth discussing: why marriage might not benefit women. Now, this is not to say marriage is a bad or that doesn't work for some people, but today we are exploring why it may not always be the best option for women. So let's get into it, guys. First up, let's talk about the traditional gender roles that still tend to pop up in marriage. Even today, married women are expected to handle most of the household chores and emotional labor, regardless of their career or personal goals. This can lead to women feeling overwhelmed and burnout. Another big one is financial dependency. Many women take careers break for their families, and while this can work out, it can also put them in vulnerable position financially, especially if things go south. If a marriage ends, they might struggle to regain that financial independence. And that brings us to career growth. Marriage often comes with societal expectations that women will focus on family over career. This can lead to missed promotions, slower progression, and even reduced earnings that are difficult to recover. Let's talk about healthy and mental well-being. Studies have shown that women in marriages sometimes experience higher levels of stress and emotional strain. Taking on all the emotional weight can be exhausting, and it's often not reciprocated. If marriage ends in divorce, women are often the ones shouldering more of the burden. This can mean emotional trauma, financial struggles, or even child custody battles that take a huge toll on them. Marriage can also mean a loss of personal freedom for some women. Personal goals, hobbies, and even friendships may take a back seat. For many, this can feel more limiting than liberating, and we can't ignore societal pressure. Many women feel pushed into marriages because of culture or financial expectations. This pressure sometimes leads them to marry before they're ready or to choose someone who may not be the best fit. Then there's the emotional labor imbalance. Women often end up managing the emotional health of the relationship, taking on family logistics and providing emotional support. This invisible workload can lead to frustrations and resentment over time. Marriage, especially traditional ones, can sometimes blur the lines of personal identity for women. The role of a wife or a mom can overshadow their own ambitions, interests, and sense of self. And finally, marriage is not a guarantee of fulfillment. Many women happiness and purpose in their careers, friendship, and self care. Marriage doesn't necessarily make someone happier or more fulfilled. So those are the one of the signs. Because marriage does not benefit most women. Because I've come across certain women which are married and they come and tell me that their husband doesn't allow them to work. Okay, so there's much difference. Once you're single, you can do whatever you want, but once you get married to someone, meaning you have someone who'll be controlling you, and some of the people they're over controlling, like you're trying to do your own thing, but someone is trying to stop you. But that's what you love. You get my point. It doesn't feel or sit nice with a lot of women, because if women never get married, they have, like, career wise or financially wise, they can be somewhere. Okay, so marriage comes with everything, because sometimes you can get married to a very narcissistic person who can do whatsoever. Some get abused, some got beaten, some they did nothing, and this man just end up abusing the lady. And some are just body shamed like that, you know. They tell you you're not beautiful, you're not worthy, you're not his type. Yeah, all that. So women like go through a lot when they meet that type of a man. Okay. And you ask a certain woman, why do you sit there? No, I'm leaving because I can't leave this person because we have children together, and I feel like my children will be affected. Yeah, we always think like two ways, but if you're not happy, it's better you just find a way out, okay? Because studies have already shown that the most happiest people are married men and single women, because people who are married are never like happy like 100%. You get my point? Yeah, so that comes with marriage comes with a lot. It comes with a lot. Okay, so another woman contacted me and was telling me how bad her experience has been, how abusive the person has been. Like, the person he calls her partner, he is like, this man insult her, do whatever he wants, always tell her you're nothing without me. Whenever she wants to do something for herself, this man doesn't allow this lady to do anything. And this lady wanted to start doing her makeup, and he ends up breaking everything she bought for her makeup studio. Yeah, so people go through a lot, and sometimes, like, what? Why are you going through a lot? Like, why can't you just come out? Okay, so it takes someone with a lot of courage, and for someone to make that big decision, then they have seen that this is not the right person for me. Yeah, so I, that's what my thinking are. I don't know what you think. Like, would you think marriage benefits women? Or I feel like marriage benefits men more, because they're always supported, taken care of. Even if you don't want to do something, you do it because you just want to please someone. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Bye bye, guys. See you in the next episode.